So when it comes to you, you've got a pretty good memory. I mean, it might not be perfect, but we can at least call it pretty good. Which is why you remember these recent headlines, where it says Labour is axing the winter fuel payments to plug the £22 billion black hole. Because headlines like that were just going around left, right and centre. Just everywhere you looked, it was basically just Labour, just telling you that we've got a £22 billion black hole. Which is why it's kind of strange to wake up today and see this headline, where it says that the UK, like essentially the Labour Party, has announced a £22 billion investment in carbon capture and storage. And before we go into the details, which actually get a lot worse, just straight out the gate, carbon capture and storage, that is essentially a tree. Like, they're the ones that have just been converting carbon since basically the dawn of time. It's just been the trees. And now the government think that whilst having a £22 billion black hole, they're just going to reinvent the tree. And it says that it's focusing on developing 2 carbon capture clusters in Merseyside and Teesside. So it's basically just 2 locations. That's what you get for £22 billion. Meanwhile, they, like I said, they could literally just plant trees. But no, you got people like Ed Miliband, just basically thinking that they're better than nature. And like I said, with the winter fuel payments as well. It wasn't the whole 22 billion. Like, I just want to make that clear. I'm going to say only 1.5, because compared to 22, obviously that's a lot smaller. But it was only £1.5 billion. So they're going to potentially risk old people freezing at a cost of £1.5 billion. But they're going to try and reinvent the tree for 22. Like, I really don't think their priorities are in order. They couldn't even halve the winter fuel or anything like that. They just had to simply cut it. Like what, £750 million? They could have halved the winter fuel, but they've spent over 10 times the entire cost, just keeping Ed Miliband happy. Like I said, it really does show that their priorities are just completely out of order, because we voted these people into power to essentially look after us. But here we are, and they're just doing the complete opposite. And to be fair, I mean, we probably kind of should have known that something was up, when you got the UK Treasury, as well as Rachel Reeves, just refusing to disclose key details of that £22 billion black hole. So they pretty much just threw it out there around election time. Just saying, we've got into power, lads, and you won't believe this, there's a £22 billion black hole. But they don't disclose key details. So, no one really knows if they're telling the truth or not. Then a couple of months later, they just completely come out the woodwork. Not only have they found the £22 billion, they just found it in the pockets of Keir Starmer's new suit. Not only have they found the money, they've also found, the exact way to spend it. I gotta tell you, I didn't like the Labour Party before, but since they've got into power, I'm really starting to dislike them a whole lot more. And if this is the first time that you're seeing one of these videos, with all sorts of images on screen, as well as the actual articles that I'm talking about, if you like channels that go the extra mile, and you like to stay up to date with the lunacy that's happening in the UK, I gotta tell you, the only thing to do is to become one of the 52,037 subscribers.
This country has gone crazy.